Well, over the weekend you didn't miss much. There was a huge flap that has now flapped itself out. A French regional newspaper quoted a document from French intelligence, which in turn quoted a Saudi intelligence source, who quoted a usually reliable informant that Osama bin-Laden was dead of typhoid in the far reaches of tribal Waziristan as of the 28th of August, according to the report, which is now pretty much debunked, because if he had died on the 28th of August, there would have been chatter on the internet and in communications throughout the Al-Qaeda network. There would have been notification and some sort of comment from the extended bin Laden family in Saudi Arabia. The Saudis have now come out and said that whatever it is that the French newspaper was talking about, they don't know anything about it, and they have no reason to believe any of it. So that story has gone away. However, the big story is about to break, and you should understand the background on this. In 2004, the President's National Intelligence Commission launched a study of the situation vis-a-vis worldwide terrorism, which was, as usual, prepared over the year. And in 2005, the report was put together. And in April of this year, it was finally released, or at least, released within the secrecy of the Bush administration and the Pentagon. And this weekend, it was leaked, or a portion of it was leaked, to the Washington Post and the New York Times, who have published the conclusion that our Iraq war has exponentially increased the number of terrorists, the number of Islamic radicals dedicated around the world to screwing with the United States. That is the conclusion. It is an absolute abandonment of any pretense that the president has been laying down that we're winning the war on terror. And it is going to be the subject not only of all of the talking heads today in news, but also a Senate hearing, which is where a retired Major General named Batiste and a number of other senior Army officers, all retired, are going to say that there was a moral failure of leadership in this country to send our troops into war with the wrong equipment or not enough of the right equipment, that the basic situation vis-a-vis Rumsfeld and the Pentagon is still unsatisfactory. There is a general who is in charge, I believe, of Central Command or someplace back there. There's a general now who is refusing to sign off on the budget being prepared in the Senate because of the lack of funds that are necessary to fight whatever his part of the war is. That'll be at the Senate hearing today. The military is striking back at what they, like most Americans now, see as incompetent and improper leadership from the civilian sector of this administration. Rumsfeld, the whole gang, and President Bush about to take some serious hits this week. Venezuela's President Chavez over the weekend says that thanks to his comments at the United Nations, the United States has authorized a hit squad to assassinate him. He also has decided to sort of break off normal diplomatic relations, no term on what they're going to return to, with Mexico after the president-elect in question, Mr. Calderon, had used Chavez in his campaign as an ogre of the left that is threatening Mexico, yada, yada, yada. Chavez says that the campaign was a smear and he is not going to recognize the Mexican government of Calderon if it is installed, which is still a question because of the Lopez Obrador protest situation, which still is going on, not only in District Federal, but apparently the Oaxaca state is now the new Chiapas, with the people armed and seizing control of government buildings and everything else in the area. Whew, really, man. And then there's the question of America's priorities. Tonight, the New Orleans Saints will play football in the Superdome in New Orleans. $185 million spent to rebuild the Superdome, and 1/3 of New Orleans' population still have no homes. And that's enough news for now. I'm Travis T. Hipp on the Pig on the radio on a Monday. Stay tuned.